Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen wal aqibatu lil muttaqin wa la udwana illa ala adh-dhalimin wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu la nabiyya ba'dah. Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. And welcome back to our program, My American Jihad, with me, Imam Shamsi Ali. And today we are going to continue our discussion on how our community in the Western society, and particularly here in the United States, should prepare a future strong generation. And we are on the topic of marriage itself. Is the foundation of that preparation. We talk about the requirements of marriage. We talk about some important pillars of marriage. We talk about the urgency and the importance of marriage itself in Al-Islam. What does it mean to be a marriage in Al-Islam? And may this discussion can motivate and can encourage our youngsters to learn how to prepare themselves to enter into a new stage of their life. So today we are going to continue our discussion on some other important pillars of preparing a successful marriage in Al-Islam. Because marriage is not only a simple marriage. Marriage is not only about ceremony. It's not about wedding itself. It is about building a strong, solid family life. And for that to happen, there are some pillars that need to be established. There are some foundations onto it so that we can build on it a strong, solid family. Now, we mentioned about the importance of intentions, and there is no doubt then that everything that we do in Islam must be based on the right intention. The hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ that says, "Innamal a'malu binniyat" is the foundation of every single act that we do in life, so that we can turn social things into rituals or into worship, because our life is about worship. The second point I would like to underline here, for anyone to establish a strong foundation of a family, is about the importance of knowledge, al-ilm. And unfortunately, people overlook about the importance of knowledge when they come to the family life. Often we take that family as something that is being guaranteed. You prepare yourself to marry, find your spouse, marry your spouse, and you feel that everything is fine. As we said many times before, that nothing can we achieve without knowledge. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Man arada ad-dunya fa'alayhi bil-ilm." Even this hadith is weak, or even some consider it's not hadith. But the meaning of this statement, be it hadith or not, it says that "Man arada ad-dunya fa'alayhi bil-ilm." If you want this dunya, this material, physical, temporary life, then you have to obtain knowledge. You want to build your economy, must be with knowledge. You want to open your business, must be with knowledge. You want to establish your material, physical life solid, you have to have knowledge. Knowledge is necessary for our dunya. Man arada al-akhirah fa'alayhi bil-ilm. And whoever wants akhirah, happiness in the hereafter, that they have to have knowledge. As Rasulullah sallallahu said, "Man yuridillahu bihi khayran yufaqihu fid din." If Allah does want for somebody a goodness, He will make him understand the religion. Al-fiqhu fi din, understanding of the religion, is a key to be happy in the hereafter. Because only through knowledge you can practice the deen. You can pray correctly. You can do fast correctly. You can perform hajj correctly. And you can do everything in the religion correctly by knowledge. Because our deen is not blind. فَعَلَيْهِ بِالْعِلْمِ. And then Rasulullah ﷺ said, وَمَنْ أَرَادَهُمَا فَعَلَيْهِ بِالْعِلْمِ. Whoever wants both, حَسَنَ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَحَسَنَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ, happiness in this world and happiness in the hereafter, فَعَلَيْهِ بِالْعِلْمِ, that you have to have knowledge. When we take this into family life in particular, it concludes that knowledge is necessary, even I may say required, for the couple to establish a strong and solid family. One of the most important knowledge is about how the Quran and how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has left a legacy for us to follow in our family life. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam certainly is the best example for us. The best example as a husband, example as the father, as an example as the leader within his own family. So لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ requires for us to understand the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in family management. How he behaved with his wife, how he interact with his own children, daughters, and even grandchildren, Hassan al Hussein at the time. How he managed his house, what Rasulullah ﷺ did. All these are being characterized. The characteristic of Rasulullah ﷺ as a father, as a husband, have been clearly mentioned in the hadith of Rasulullah, in the seerah of Rasulullah ﷺ. And this requires knowledge for us. We have to learn about how Rasulullah ﷺ had become a husband and a father. Because he is the good role model for us, not only in the masjid, but also at home. Knowledge also is important and even fundamentally needed in terms of the couple itself, the husband and the wife. How a husband should learn about the wife and how the wife should learn about the husband. Learn about your spouse. Learn about what she likes and what she doesn't like. And for wife, learn about what he likes and what he doesn't like. Why it is necessary? Because always between two people, what we call ta'aruf, okay, mutual understanding, mutual knowledge of one another. Okay. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila li ta'arafu. That ta'aruf must happen continuously at home. And of course, the beginning of that is in the beginning of the process. Our young people out there always talk about ta'aruf. Ta'aruf is not only needed before the marriage itself, but in fact, ta'aruf is even more needed after the marriage. And the reason, because you live under the same roof in 24 hours. And sometime when you live together in 24 hours under the same roof, in the same house, then things which was covered, okay, is being uncovered at the moment. Everything is being exposed. The attitude that sometimes is now try to cover because you are still in the process of learning one another, knowing one another. Now you're already one body, basically, as husband and wife living under the same roof in 24 hours, and then everything is being exposed. When that happens, it means there is a sensitivity issue here. There's a sensitive issue. Because everything which is being extraordinary for the marriage will become an ordinary after the marriage. And particularly that no matter what, either you came from the same backgrounds. Let's say a Bangladeshi boy, a Bangladeshi girl, for example, they got married. Both of them Muslims, alhamdulillah. They love the same food. They have the same culture. But no matter how commonality that you have also differences. And don't be worried about differences. We don't have to be scared of differences, because in fact differences are blessings. Ikhtilaf is leading into sometimes blessings. It depends on how the challenge is, can we manage our differences, including a difference between a husband and a wife. And so again, knowledge between the spouse, between the husband and the wife itself is necessary and fundamentally required in our family life. Because again, I used to say this jokingly, sometimes the husband is so serious. We are in America at the moment in what we call political season. We are discussing about Republican and Democrat, between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, between this and that. A lot of discussions happen even inside of the family. Similarly, in some other countries like Indonesia or back home in Bangladesh and others, every time that we enter into a political season, people talk about politics. Now, when you are at home, a husband and wife, even sometimes we have that political differences. The husband likes, let's say, Joe Biden, because Joe Biden had been in politics for over 50 years. Not the wife, possibly because of, we don't know, because of Melania or whatever, that the wife loves, likes Donald Trump, and then discussion happened. The wife asked, why you like Biden? And the husband asked, why you like Trump? And then debates began. If there is no understanding, there is a willingness to learn about one another's, even about political view, then the problem will happen. Particularly when it comes to the issue of, let's say, watching TVs. Some wives love to watch drama, films, movies, and the husbands love to watch, political comments on the TVs, on CNN and Fox News and others. And so debates happen between the couples. Here, you can see the differences. And sometimes what we like to eat, what we don't like to eat, the way we talk, sometimes husbands, is a very quiet man, and the wife is kind of, I don't want to say talkative, but talk quite a lot. And that's what she likes to. And then disagreement happens. Misunderstanding happens. One another's, begin to accuse as being, husband, because he is so quiet, then the wife will say, oh, you don't want to pay attention. And then the wife, because she loves to talk, not talkative basically, but she loves to talk, then the husband begin to say, oh, you are talkative, talking too much, unnecessarily. Now, you see here how the problem begins. Simply because of what? Because of the lacking of understanding. And that lacking of understanding begins because of unwillingness to learn about one another. And so once again, it is very important that the second pillar of a successful family is about learning of one another. Rasulullah sallam learned about this. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad sallam married a different, women with different characters. He married Khadija radiallahu anha, who was a very famous, popular, rich, respectful woman in the community, in the society, Khadija radiallahu anha. But later on, the very opposite, someone who is very smart, very young, very energetic, Aisha radiallahu anha. And here Rasulullah sallam, being as a husband, must learn about how to interact with that type of woman and that type of woman. Similarly, a husband should learn about the attitude of certain women. It doesn't mean that you have to have two wives. I mean, here, when your wife has certain character, how to behave and how to interact with. Similarly, our wives also must learn about the husband. There are some husbands are quiet. There are some husbands are also talking quite a lot. There are some husbands are easily, responsive, or sometimes not easy to respond. All these are necessary to know, because knowledge will bring you to an understanding, and understanding will bring you to a respect for one another. And when we can respect one another, you can grow the sense of compassion and love and responsibility for one another. Because once again, husband and wife's life is about zawj, partnership. And that partnership can only happen when the understanding between the two can be established. And that understanding can be achieved or be obtained when knowledge is established as well. So the second pillars of successful marriage is about knowing one another, ta'aruf, in the language of the Holy Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all and strengthen our family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save our generation. See you inshallah next time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.